Alright, well, hello Internet. This is the one and only Spider Saver. For current subscribers, sorry if it's been a while since a decent video, or my teased Moe Part 3, or my, anything. I know, I'm doing my best. I want to do content, but it just gets difficult at times. But this is a commentary video of me talking about the biggest disappointment of a movie I could have seen, and that would be Jurassic World Dominion. So, I just spent 2 hours of my time watching it because I am a really, really big Jurassic World fan. And I could not have seen the series go off in the way it did. To be honest, I really liked the concept of the story. I felt like deliverance of the story's plot could have been better. And if you haven't seen it, this will be your time to stop watching. But the premise of the movie is after the dinosaurs escaped from the last one, Biogen, whatever it was, they basically have taken over and made these genetically modified locusts that nobody knows about, but their plot is to save all of the dinosaurs. And to be honest, what it looked like before the locusts were introduced was they were some kind of just a company trying to take dinosaurs and do something like poachers or something like that. But they make it a point that Maisie, the girl that's a clone, well, not really a clone, but that she's of key importance. And suddenly, like, Blue was there. It was really weird to explain the movie seeing it if you've watched everything else. And I feel like the movie, there's not feel like, this movie was incredibly inconsistent. For example, there's a taser that Claire pulls off of this new kind of dinosaur's cage that's a hybrid that Biogen made. And this taser, is not supposed to be used on humans and is powerful enough to shock away dinosaurs and cause severe pain, but used on one of the main villains, it does nothing. And for a Jurassic movie, there's a lot of people I looked at and was like, "Oh, yeah, this is a villain." And if going off of anything else in the other films, they're gonna get eaten. But there was only two villains that really got any character development that actively got eaten. In other Jurassic movies, the villains, they had more of a precedence. Even like in Jurassic World 1, where the most definable outside of Wu, like Henry Wu gave off vibes of like he's evil and he does all this biotech stuff. To this third movie, he's just straight up done and wants to fix everything he's done. I do like the fact that they brought back all of the older characters like Alan, Ellie, and Ian finally, but it was just really, really inconsistent. For example, the world's scariest and top carnivore, the Giganotosaurus, whatever, they kind of like tease at a fight between this dinosaur, who's an apex predator, and the T-Rex. Now, the T-Rex has been around since Jurassic Park 1, and we absolutely love nothing more than a good dinosaur showdown. Like, the fight between the T-Rex and the Indominus Rex, phenomenal. It's what we love to see. But then we come to this fight between the Giganotosaurus and the T-Rex. And I kid you not, if you look it up, it is the most utter disappointment I could have seen in a fight. The Giganotosaurus dies with the help of the T-Rex to Glam Chickasaur. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll see it if you look up this fight. Essentially, picture a raptor with a long neck, so basically an emu, covered in feathers, with long, sharp claws. Oh, and to top it off, it's blind, so it's a blind Glam Chickasaur. This thing is drawn attention to by a flare. Now, mind you, the Giganotosaur and the T-Rex go back and forth for a while, and it separates the groups of the people to the newer Owen, Maisie, Claire, and Kayla, though she's completely irrelevant to me in this whole film. Like, there was a scene where everyone was talking, like Alan and Owen were talking. I was like, yes, this is what the fans want. And then she comes down the ladder and starts rambling about some helicopter. I'm like, go back. No, you were not asked. The adults are talking. Walk away. There was no point for her to be there at any point. And then the fight between the Giganotosaurus and the T-Rex. The first encounter they had, the Giganotosaurus, they push each other. The Giganotosaurus bites the T-Rex on its snout, and the T-Rex walks away. And I'm sitting here like, nah, the T-Rex wouldn't take that. It's old, but it's not going to take that. So they come to the final fight in the Sanctuary of Biogen, which has many of its own plot holes, but whatever. And the Giganotosaurus, basically, after a few blows exchanged, pushes the T-Rex into, this metal sign, which then traps Claire, Owen, Maisie, and Kayla. No, not Kayla. It was... I forgot who else was there. No, it was just actually the three of them. But they get essentially trapped. Ramsey, that was who it was. They all get trapped. And by the T-Rex, Ellie runs up. Ellen screams no. Ian follows them. And the Giganotosaurus looks at them like, ah yes, my next lunch since I didn't capture the other humans. But the T-Rex, quote, dying was just horrible. Like, if they wanted to give the impression that the T-Rex had died, they should have did it that the T-Rex was fighting, took like a fatal blow to like the throat or something like that, and then it collapsed. And how I would have liked to have seen it was then the Giganotosaurus starts to go, Kayla launches a flare, and the Giganotosaurus doesn't pay attention, starts to rush everybody, and the T-Rex gets up, takes it out, and roars while it's raining with some dramatic lighting behind it. That is how I would have loved to see it. However, Kayla shoots a flare as the Giganotosaurus has its eyes locked on the OG cast from Jurassic Park. The flare casts over and reveals the dinosaur that wasn't given an Otis name or an Is name, so it's officially under Blind Glam Chicksaur. So this long-fingernailed lunch meal goes over and exchanges roars, and mind you, this thing is skinny and pathetic, but it's got apparently really sharp fingernails, so that's enough to fight, I guess. They start to exchange blows, and there's light sweeping over the T-Rex's eye, which out of everything in the movie, these dinosaurs looked so bad. The T-Rex looked great, but everything else looked really bad. There was this one scene where they're in the mine shafts. Once again, if you look this up, you'll see what I'm talking about. And there was the Spinosaurus-like dinosaurs. And when I saw the Spino, I was like, oh, the Spinosaurus, like from Jurassic Park 3. This'll be awesome. And it just looked like the real-life version of the plastic green toy dinosaur from Toy Story That Time Forgotten. And you're going to have to look all of this up, because it's just going to make a lot more sense at that point. And I'm sure videos do 10 times better when people put what they're talking about on the screen, but I don't do that, you know? I like to talk, and you focus on my talking. You know, this is time well spent. But anyway, to continue, so basically, the Giganotosaurus is having a stare down with the Glamchicosaur, and the T-Rex gets up behind it. I'm like, oh, that's okay, I guess. And the next thing I know, the T-Rex grabs. It's a dramatic shot. The T-Rex grabs the Giganotosaurus on its neck and then just pushes it into the blind Glamchicosaur, who just knew to stick its fingernails out and impale it. The overarching villain dinosaur didn't make sense, and the final shot of the T-Rex roaring was ruined by this emu excuse to be in a frozen lunch meal. And that doesn't even cover everything. They finally brought back the Barbasol can that Nedry used in the first movie to take out some of the DNA, which I thought was a really cool reference, but there was nothing really expanded upon that, and the main villain, Lewis Dodgson, there was a lot of plot holes for him. Like, his motives really weren't that clear. He was a villain, but it was obvious he was, but it wasn't really shown a whole lot well. Unlike other villains in the past, like, I forgot what his name was in Jurassic World, but he wanted the raptors. His motives were clear, because he mentions it. Pretty much all Lewis wants is control, but, you know, he's not doing a phenomenal job at this. So he goes on, yada yada yada, and he dies to Dilophosauruses, which is ironic, because of the Barbasol can that he had, and he dropped it, and the Dilophosauruses kill him. And it's about time that we saw them come back, don't get me wrong, but his death even seemed bad. Santos, or I forgot what his name was, but basically the poacher that kidnaps Maisie and Beta, Blue's son or daughter. I don't know how, like, it really isn't stated that she could do this until this movie. She apparently reproduces on her own, like the monitor lizard, I think it was. This wasn't stated in any prior movie. Go figure. But, you know, inconsistent. A lot of the fights, chase scenes, it was just really drawn out for them to fill the gaps and decide, this is how we're going to end the movie. Here's the story. I can see it now. They put this on a whiteboard, and some not Jurassic World fan enthusiast that worked there was like, yep, looks good, approved it, and they just ran with it. I don't feel like there was any really love or motive put into making this movie great. There was even a scene where Owen and the plane is about to crash. It's obvious Owen is going to live, and Claire is going to live, and Kayla shouldn't have lived, but whatever. They go over, the plane's about to crash, and there's only one seat on the plane that has an ejector seat with 2 parachutes. It's not even stated that this chair has parachutes. I kid you not. Owen is like Claire. When this seat goes, the parachute's going to automatically deploy. If it doesn't, pull this lever. Claire jumps out of the plane, and the parachute deploys. But there's pterodactyls everywhere in the air. Imagine this plane is broken. Like, I kid you not, windows open, so the cabin would have been pressurized as it is. And they'd have been messed up at this point. But anyway, Claire then, as she's going down, parachute deploys, she looks to her left, and there's a pterodactyl coming right at her. And then looks to her right, even more. So she's being swarmed. They rip the parachute, and she starts to plummet. And then she goes to reach for the lever, and I'm like, well, what's the point of that? The parachute already deployed. And she pulls it, and there's a second parachute. And I'm sitting there like, when was it? Wait. When was this specified that she had a second parachute? This wasn't specified when she was about to jump out of the plane. Claire, the parachute's going to automatically deploy. But if it doesn't, there's a second one that you use when you pull the lever. That should have been stated. That would have made a lot more sense for the film. This is like the taser. This taser is strong enough that when used on a dinosaur the same size as a human, just on the nose, will send it flying backwards. But this woman gets tased and just screams, doesn't go numb, doesn't go limp, just screams and is like, you shouldn't use that on a human. It's like, no, if this taser is as strong as you're saying it is and as strong as I've seen it, you should not be talking. And then it's like, the Giganotosaurus was just really random. There was no really overarching, this is the big bad dinosaur of the film. Because there's always going to be the main villains that are humans, and then one dinosaur that's an overarching villain, like the Indoraptor or the Spinosaurus or the Indominus Rex. Even in the Jurassic Park, there wasn't really like a set dinosaur, but if you had to put one, it would be like the raptors, and the T-Rex saved them. And in the second Jurassic Park film, it was the T-Rex, and it was always very identifiable which dinosaurs were causing the problems and who were the villains. This movie, it was clear Louis Dodgson was the big bad villain for the humans, but he really wasn't that bad. And then the locusts, like, it was really confusing how they introduced them. The way of introducing them was to show a girl and a boy on a farm taking care of a chicken coop. And I was like, oh, yes, they're going to round it off well and bring in Timmy and Lex. And if you don't know who they are the two children that were only seen in the first movie throughout pretty much the whole thing, and the second one for just like a few seconds of screen time. But that was it. And I really wanted to see them come back in this movie because we can get closure on what happened to them. We don't know, did they go to college? Did they get married? You know, what happened to this brother-sister duo that loved their grandfather that made this giant park that was a, quote, success. But no, we don't get closure on them. We don't even really get closure on Alan and Ellie. It's clear and implied heavily that they stay together, whether that's get married or just they want to live together as friends. It's not stated. But it ends with them in suits and saying, let's end this thing finally. Yeah, and I would have much preferred to hear Alan Grant or John Hammond, something like that, or Alan Grant delivering a line from John Hammond. Like, instead we get this woman that was only mentioned in the 5th installment, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, which was a fantastic movie. She was mentioned and is Maisie's mother, originally thought to be Maisie's origin, and Maisie's supposed to be her clone, but Charlotte delivers the final lines to the film. And there's really not closure either for Owen and Claire and Maisie who live together. For example, they just drop off Beta to Blue, and it's not like Blue comes every now and again. And I would have much preferred to have a conversation. It's like, see a conversation. Like, Maisie walks up to Owen, and he's like, it's time to go home. And she's like, it will be different this time. He's just like, I don't know. Well, let's find out. Or a conversation that would just talk about, like, you know, I think now it's okay to take you into town more. And even leave room open for another one, where we pick up on Maisie being much older and a newer threat to the dinosaurs. It's always a possibility to continue this saga if they wanted to, but I feel like this movie needs to be taken back and redone. There was another scene where they had to go to the break room and redivert power to turn on this system that for any planes that entered the area would be protected from this Omega pterodactyl, I guess. It was just a giant chicken nugget with wings. All of the new hybrid dinosaurs in this movie had feathers. They were all chicken nuggets. What do you want me to say? But this dinosaur basically ripped their plane to shreds, and as they're sitting there, like, oh, the system got shut off, and we need to turn it back on. So they go to the control room to turn it back on, and it is just laid out with these locusts that were supposedly burned and had flown far away from the facility and dropped in the forest, setting it on fire. But the control room was full of these dead, on fire, crackling, delicious and delectable snack. And as Ellie and Claire are breaking the system and shutting it down, there comes a time where they push a button and the locusts just spring up after the system reboots, which just seems really random. They were getting stepped on moments before and didn't jump up, but the system reboots and then they jump up. And in that same time frame, Alan, Maisie, and Owen were going to get Beta, Blue's baby, from the facility so that they could leave, and Beta needed to get tranked in the neck. And Maisie jumps up and does what Owen does. And then, I don't have any words for that scene either. This whole movie was just a really big disappointment as like a really big Jurassic fan to see the series go out. I didn't watch Jurassic until I was much older, and I watched the first three, fell in love, watched the Jurassic World. Jurassic World, the first one, was my first introduction to the series, which I loved. And then I watched the first three, managed to watch the fifth one in theaters, and then this one, I'm glad I didn't spend my money to go see it in theaters. As much as I wanted to, it was just really a big disappointment. Universal, if you're watching this, I would recommend take the movie back, but just redo how you do the story. There needs to be more villain characters that are given enough screen time for the audience to get to know them. And then they obviously need to go or get arrested, something like that. But it has to happen. It's not a really good Jurassic film without that. The characters, I feel like they all should have met up sooner and had more time to talk and had funny lines of the differences of the first movie where it was just running from the dinosaurs to the Jurassic World's time frame where it was more of like connecting with the dinosaurs and then dealing with obviously bigger threats. And make the dinosaurs look better too. A lot of them, it was really interesting to see the look of the animatronic dinosaurs come back, but the animatronics were just really poorly done. That's to say the least for them. Like, most were CGI, but then some that were smaller were obviously just some, I'm gonna guess, suit wrapped over mechanical parts. Like, I don't know. But that's pretty much what I have to say about the movie. And now for myself, for subscribers, I know it's been a while since I've made a video, and probably not the first thing you'd want to see coming out by me is a commentary video about a movie that you may or may not have seen. It's really hard for me at the moment to make good videos, and I really can't stand something half done. Like, for example, what I'm doing right now, it's really easy. I just need to sit, I just can talk. That's a lot simpler for me at this time than making a lot of videos. I was really into the swing of it and enjoying it. I started to lose motivation, and then techno died, and it still affects me even after a month of him having passed. And then I started a new job, which also it all affects me. Um, and I'll be honest. I started to think about, what did techno mean to the community? Like, it was obvious he meant so much. He built such an incredible community, which is something I would love nothing more than to do. I'd love either to make a video or start a live stream and just look at chat and be like, hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Um, how was your doctor's appointment last week? I hope you're well. I hope that kid stopped bullying you. It's just something I love. But at the same time, I think about it like I started YouTube, and making a change in someone's life, there's no easy way for, if at any point I had to stop YouTube or I passed away, to post a video being like, guys, this is like the worst thing I could have done on this channel. I'm quitting or I've died. And have the realization as I sit here that those words are going to resonate, shake your world to your core, that even though I'm somebody online, I made a difference in someone's life some way. And not even for people online, people that know me in real life, it really, like, it made my head spin when techno died. Like, I want to have that kind of community, but what's the cost of having that community? And I already kind of have that. Kylie, Mr. Kanana, Epic Kiddo, Josh XMH, Ninja, Dark Wolf, Carson, Frasier, Sly, even some bigger YouTube names like Brackets. He kind of knows me. We don't talk a lot, but Kingpin, couple of dubs. Like, there's channels out there, people that know me and I know and I'm bonding with. Even people on my Twitch, like, I forgot what his name was. It was King something, but he came in during one of my Star Wars streams and we talked about Star Wars. It was just me and him, and I absolutely loved that. But the thought of having such a community and then, changing lives and all of that, it just kind of made me stop and think, like, I want to do these videos, but, what's it going to come to if I have to stop doing videos at some point, or, I pass away? Inevitably, I'll pass away at some point. Hopefully not anytime soon, but, who's to say when I do what happens? And there's really never any, it could be for weeks. Like, I know I'm sick, and I'm like, guys, I'm sick. Be prepared for the worst. Or it can happen suddenly, and you still wouldn't be prepared either way. But that's me. I'm guaranteeing videos are coming. It's just, I'm taking my time the best I can. There might be a few lazy videos of just me rambling or having a moment, but yeah, that's me. Well, before I go, I kind of got into the habit of, when I did streams, that I'd pray, so I figured I should be consistent with that, because, can't hurt. So if you're watching, clap and bring him and close him. Father God, I thank you for the time that I had to make this video and to talk about something which is more over complaining, which I shouldn't, but here I am. I pray for anybody watching this video, whether somebody I currently know or somebody I'm going to know or just somebody that wants to watch and hear my opinion and got as far as to me hearing my struggles. I pray, Lord, that they are doing well, and if not, that things get better. I also pray that as the days and times come ahead, whatever your will is for this channel, that I can seek it out and fulfill it to its destiny, and whatever comes on for Spider Saver, the community of Spider Saver, and me, person behind the mask, that way is paved and clear, just so I don't get confused and lose sight of what's important about this channel. And if this channel's already served its purpose, then let me know, and let me know what's next. But thank you, Lord, for the day you've given us, and for the time I've been able to have with my viewers for 31 minutes. I pray that everybody has a good day, and in your name I pray, amen. Alright, guys, that'll do it. Once again, if you're new, I'm not asking for likes and subscribes, and by all means don't. I'd rather you come by just to check and see if I did a new video and laugh, rather than oh, this guy's cool, I'll just subscribe, And for all of my current subscribers, thank you guys again for 100 subs. Around the time frame I hit it in, I had done a video about it, but that was through tears. I feel like I reached 100 a little, out of doing that Technoblade stream, and even though I did say a lot, guys, don't have to. A lot of people did out of just the fact of what I was doing, which I'm grateful for. Don't get me wrong. It's a blessing for every single person that has currently subscribed and stayed subscribed for as long as they have and put up with my shenanigans and jokes. But yeah, I do apologize as well for lack of videos. Just like I said, I'm just trying to figure out all the new things in life, and my first not even jokeful or well done video in who knows how long is a commentary video on a movie. Gotta love it. But yeah. Well, anyway, thank you for listening into my podcast. And if there's any questions, I guess, about anything I said, I can take a look and either respond in the comments or just make another video, which, yeah, I might do. It just depends. I don't expect, if 35 minutes of me ranting about a Jurassic movie goes nuts, I wouldn't have to say much. Lawnmower joke got to be two of the most popular videos on my channel, which I'm hoping the third one performs just as well, because the quality of the second one for any short I've ever done was a very big leap. But yeah, I'm praying for each of you, and actually, if there was anything I could ask of all of you guys, it would be prayer for me. Also, Dark Wolf, if you're watching this and you got this far, I hope your friend's okay. Still. Yeah. Also, Ninja, hope your puppy's doing well and not chewing up everything in your house. And, yeah. That's about it, all I can think of for talk I've had with subscribers. Oh, one last thing. I know I posted a short a few days ago about hitting 100 days in Fortnite. The 24-hour stream kind of flopped. And the 12-hour stream flopped because of my internet. But we're down to, I want to say, 99 days, 19 hours, and 1 minute. So, a 5-hour stream playing Fortnite, and I will have reached 100 days of the game, which I think will be really cool, considering I played for 3 years now, and the 5th anniversary for Fortnite is this upcoming September 16th. I stream a lot more on Twitch than I do in making videos, and streaming on YouTube. Streaming on YouTube is really hard, because I gotta set up everything a little separately, because the way how I have the furniture in my house is I have where I usually play in a back corner, but then when I do YouTube streams, I pull it out to the middle of the floor. Sorry. From work, I run night shifts and day shifts at times. When I run night shifts, I mop the floor. I had 2 shorts I wanted to post, but I was unsure about posting them. But we'll see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I should tell you guys. I think that's it. I've rambled way longer than I ever have before. But yeah, who knows? Maybe in a year's time from now we'll be at TwitchCon. That's a joke. I don't expect to be at TwitchCon or VidCon anytime soon. 6 months from now. Spider Saver's going to TwitchCon. I kid you not. If that happens, there's just going to be a video on my channel where it's like an animated Twitch logo comes in. It just like kind of comes towards the screen, goes back with a pop sound. The color changes to yellow, and out comes my face in Twitch bubble. And then it'll like wipe the screen away and like cubes, and it'll be me, and I'll be like, I'm going to TwitchCon, guys. That's right. I'll be running announcements. We'll have a meet and greet, which if I have a meet and greet, I swear I will personally pay for some of you to be there. There's a few people I would love to see there. 8-Bit Kiddo, Josh XMH, and Kylie, Mr. Cannot Not. Well, there are a few people I'd love to be there. Kylie's more of a reason to get her there, and then we can collaborate, because we've talked a little bit about it, about collaborating. A little teaser, if you've made it this far, she's going to be featured in Moe Part 3. That's all I'm going to be saying. But I stopped the recording by touching a button, so I'm going to have to put this in Power Director, save it, and then post it. But, yeah, so we talked about collaborating outside of just like a random video. of games if we do that, or we do a stream where we're just talking over the phone. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I still have to do the stream of watching her videos, but I'll try and redo that so audio is included, because then you won't just hear me talking, you'll actually hear the video. But I think that's everything officially, so take care, everyone. God bless. All I ask is not subscribes or likes or comments, even just prayer. That's all I could use right now. I'll be praying for all of you as well. Anyway, peace out, lads. I'll see you in the next one.